Welcome to the Smart Publishing Impact Series, where we show you how to turn your expertise into a book that actually drives results. I'm Jonathan Lautermilch, CEO of Smart Publishing.
And I'm Renée Lautermilch, Chief Editor of Smart Publishing. This is the podcast for business owners, coaches, and professionals who don't just want to be authors. They want to use a book to build authority, attract clients, and create real opportunities.
Each week, we break down what actually works when it comes to writing, publishing, and leveraging a book the right way. Sometimes it's just us pulling back the curtain on our process. Other times we're joined by authors, industry experts, sharing how they've used a book to grow their business. If you've ever thought about writing a book, or you already have one and want it to do more for you, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
Welcome to another episode of the Smart Publishing Impact Series with one of your co-hosts, Renée Lautermilch, Chief Editor at Smart Publishing, and I am joined by my co-host, Jonathan Lautermilch, CEO of Smart Publishing. Say hi.
Great to be here. We're going to have a damn good episode today.
It's going to be good. Yeah, today is episode 72, and we have yet another guest with us. I will do a brief introduction and hand over the mic for him to talk a little bit more. But he also has a co-host, per se, for his book that's going to be coming out. He is a co-author of the book, The Full Gym, and his name is Blake Ruff. Blake's a StoryBrand certified guide, growth strategist, and co-host of the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast, which has released more than 135 episodes, so a little bit more than our episode 72 over here, focused on helping gym owners grow without gimmicks or guesswork. After owning and selling gyms himself, he transitioned into paid advertising and messaging strategy, eventually managing more than $2 million in Facebook ad spend specifically for gyms. His work has helped fitness businesses generate more than $30 million in tracked client revenue through clear messaging, strategic targeting, and scalable lead generation systems. And I know that his co-author is not here, but his co-author is Sherman Merricks. Sherman runs the other side of things when it comes to the book that they have co-authored around strong sales processes and training your staff on those processes. So I'll get into the book a little bit more. It is a book for boutique gym owners, and it's all about how most of these owners, they don't have a marketing problem or a sales problem. They have an alignment problem. Things aren't matching up, and it's capping their growth no matter how hard they work. So The Full Gym, their forthcoming book, gives you the complete system to fix it, written by two gym owners who have consulted hundreds of fitness businesses, managed over that $2 million that we referred to in paid ad spend. The book covers everything from building a paid marketing engine that attracts the right people to creating a sales process your entire team can execute consistently. No gimmicks, no 6-week challenges, no tactics that cheapen your brand, just a clear, proven framework for turning a good gym into a growing one, and the tools to make that growth predictable, measurable, and sustainable. So if you're ready for your gym to stop replacing the members you're losing and start building something that actually grows with intention, this is the book. Really, really cool thing too. Inside the book, they have included access to LASSO Gym Growth Diagnostic. LASSO is their consulting business, and it gives access to a full resources hub, swipe files, templates, done for you follow-up sequences. It's all there. I got to work through all this as I was editing and formatting things to get all the QR codes into the book. And I'm telling you, this is one of the highest value, sort of just complete additional offerings that I've seen with a book that we've published to date. I mean, it's not just fluff stuff or like silly little templates. It's real deep and very helpful, proven resources that they're just giving away for free through this book. So if you are out there and you are in the fitness business, this is a much grab for you. Blake, tell the people, when does your book come out?
Sorry, what was the last thing you said? I cut out for 1 second.
Yeah. Just handing over to you so that you can drum roll, let them know when they can get their hands on your book.
Yeah, September 7th and 8th, right?
Yes. So September 7th, we will be running a 1-day only Kindle sale just for 99 cents. It might be $1.99. I got to see what the upload says. We had some graphics in it, so sometimes that can push the file size up, but for cheap. And then the next day the print formats come out, and this is a good sizable book. This is a book that you're going to want on your desk, ready to refer to. You want to read through it, you want to reference back to it. It really should be a boutique gym owner's like manual and ongoing guide and resource sitting right by their desk. So yeah, Blake, I want to hand over to you just to tell our listeners a little bit more about you, anything I didn't cover, and then Jonathan's got all the burning questions.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great introduction. I was even impressed by some of it itself. I mean, my 6-year-old grabbed the book and I was even impressed how big it is, to be honest with you. And I reread through it and I was like, wow, this is really good stuff. Like, people that read this, like, you're actually going to walk away from it if you truly wanted to run your own paid marketing, create a whole system, and do it all. And I also think it goes, I mean, from the point of where marketing is going, things always shift, but my goal in writing the marketing portion were things that never change. The things that never change of talking about problems and solutions. And because there's going to be gimmicks that come and go, but no matter what, when you're in the fitness field, you're solving for problems. And how do you articulate those problems to people in a way to get them in your doors? And then just like you said, the QR codes, like, to be honest, we're kind of just giving everything away for free. Selfishly, I'll admit, like, if you're the type of person that wants to do it themselves, you're probably never going to be our client. But here you go. This is like proven what we've done over and over. Or if you're reading it and you're like, holy moly, this is a lot of stuff. I don't want to do this on my own. You know where to go. And you have at least the basis of knowledge of truth rather than hearing from a lot of gurus that like you're listening on like, you know, B2B marketing or maybe like people that are e-commerce. That's a totally different thing. This is geared towards B2C and for gyms specifically on things to look at. And so you could read this book and walk away and be like, I know exactly what to do. Granted, it's going to take you a lot of time, or that person that reads it and like, now I have the framework of knowledge if I go to these guys, exactly what I should look for and know what they do and what good marketing looks like.
Well, I'll tell you this, Blake. You know, we've worked with and me and Renee were talking about this weekend, we have such a wide range of publishing partners we've worked with from like all walks of life and all different industries. But with you, man, I've got a special place in my heart for you and Sherman because me and Renee spent over a decade in the fitness industry. It's actually where me and her met as personal trainers many moons ago, back when I had muscles, a tan, and hair. It was fantastic. But the reason I'm really excited about your book, man, and you touched on it, is about those universal truths. And, you know, I never spent my time on the marketing side like you, so I'm really excited to have you on and kind of pull out some of those gold nuggets. I was more like Sherman. I was the closer, like in the club, right? But I had a relationship with marketing where if the marketing wasn't doing their job, it made my job really hard. And I'll tell you a quick little backstory on one time where I realized like how important the marketing was. I was working at this one gym. I won't say their name because I don't want to throw them under the bus. But one of the marketing promotions they did was like, hey, come into the gym and you can win a free cruise. That was their whole thing. And they put them in a raffle system. So we had a bunch of people coming in. But, man, they had zero interest in, like, actual fitness and losing weight and getting in shape and all these different things. But I was supposed to, like, be the Doctor Strange magic closer and bring up that conversation and then convince them to not only join but, you know, buy personal training, where the truth is they were there like, man, I just want to see if I can win this cruise. I don't really care. And it was one of the most frustrating campaigns as being someone on the ground level having to deal with that. And that was just one of many gimmicks I've seen over the years versus just focusing on the things that are tried and true that attract people that are actually who you're looking for at the end of the day. Because it's not just about doing a deal one time. It's about getting someone in the door and then keeping them for as long as you can at the end of the day, right? So my first question to you, man, I want to tee you up for, I think it'd be a great place to start, is what was, and I obviously we can't speak to Sherman because he's not on today, but we can talk about you. What was going on in your life when you realized that you need to write this book?
That's a good question. Well, Sherman, if you want to know the truth, Sherman and Brian told me I had to write this book. I'm not the type of person that likes to get my name out there, if you want me to be completely honest. So I don't know if my hand was forced a little bit because I like to be behind the scenes a little bit. I'm a little bit of an introvert. But I do think there are so many misconceptions around marketing. I do think that there are so many times people have a bad taste in their mouth, right? Like, no offense to like the Hermosi days, and Alex is super smart. Probably one of the smartest individuals there is in marketing. But he capitalized on a time when there was like 6-week challenges and Facebook ads. You could just put whatever there and everybody would show up and you had no competition and getting $3 leads, right? Much different, but it just left a bad taste in people's mouth. To your point of kind of like clickbait ads of like, oh, come in for the 6-week challenge. It's free, but you got to put a deposit down. If you do X, Y, Z, T, Y, U, then you get your money back. Right? And it was just a horrible way of selling. And then you got bad Google reviews. You got all this stuff going on. And we get on so many calls of, honestly, twofold. You get on so many calls that people did stuff like that. And they have a horrible, like, is it like this? Right? And then you're basically selling them against whatever perception they had. And then you have the other group that's like, my mentor company, XYZ, told me Facebook ads don't work. And because, well, the truth is they just don't understand it. Because if they didn't work, why do companies like Orange Theory open with 500 members day one? Why do big franchises all make all of their, franchisees spend about $4,000 to $7,000 a month? It's kind of like if Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan are the best players in the world, why wouldn't you emulate what they do and follow the path? So how do you break that down at scale to say, how do I reverse engineer what I do in a way that people can understand it and get the framework? Not like you're not going to like be able to diagnose ads like I do. Like that would just take not years, but like months of me going through and being like frequency, audience, who's like, it's different for each thing. But the framework of it to say, this is why marketing actually works. Here's how to track it. Because too many people that are gym owners are like, if I spend $1,000, I got to make $2,000 every month. And you're like, that's not the way the world works. If we invested, like for example, in stocks, does that happen every single month? We'd all be multimillionaires. That's not how it works. That's not how life works, right? All of these misconceptions of like, you're not running a product, right? You're not selling an iPhone. If an iPhone cost Apple $500, they need to get their CAC to $300. So they have a $200 profit margin. That's a one-time sale. Compared to a gym, they're going to keep coming back in over and over again. So what's the LTV? Well, if that client is worth $200 and they stay 10 months, that's a $2,000 client. How much would you pay for that client? I'd pay $1,500, right? I still made $500. Now, granted, it's not coming in month one, but those numbers accumulate on itself. And it's not going to it's a reoccurring service. Like that's number one foundation of like how gym owners just get it wrong, right? And it's a hard industry. And this day and age, too many boutique gym owners are losing to the big franchises because they're still playing small and they're still doing the gimmicky stuff like you said, free thing or win this grand prize or just like a 3-month. And like people have two things to invest, time or money. And if you're not asking for either one, they're not going to show up and it's not going to work. But when you always talk to a problem, you're always going to win as long as your messaging is clear and right. That was a long-winded answer.
No, it's perfect, man. And dude, I remember when the Alex Hormozi thing was really popping off. And you're right. There are quite a few gym owners I spoke to that didn't have the rags to riches experience of like scaling 20, 30 locations off that strategy. A lot of them got left in the dust and had a lot of damage control that they had to deal with. And once again, they actually needed something that was going to be long-term and sustainable for them. So yeah, I can totally see why you're like, you know what, I just need to put all this in the book after all these conversations I'm having with people. And then from there, hey, you can take this and run with it. Or obviously, if that's not something that you want to spend time on or are willing to spend time on, then great. Obviously, we have a company that can help with that. So that makes total sense to me, man. And I'm really glad that Brian and Sherman were able to twist your arm to do it, man, because there's going to be a lot of people that benefit from that. So let me ask you this then. Was there any part of this process of writing the book where you're like you almost stopped, like something almost kept you from actually finishing?
I get in my own way a lot, right? Like I'm a very procrastinator. Been through college. I'm like the last minute type guy. I'm just going to get it done and it's going to be good, but it's going to take me, like, you're going to have to push me to that starting point. For me, I don't like sitting down and writing, right? Like you guys were kind enough to like, hey, you could just like talk and get this out verbally, right? And like, let's transcribe this and get your words out. So I said, that makes sense to me in my own brain, right? Like, to be honest, the one thing I've taken from Alex Hormozy more than anything, I listen and read books at the same time, right? Like that's the best way for me to consume things. So because you're not only hearing it, like every morning when I read my Bible, I have my Bible up, but I'm listening to it at the same time and following along. And this might sound bad. Through all of high school, I never read one book. Now I listen to a ton of books, right? But I don't read them. And so for me, I can write out my thoughts in like outline format and then fill in the blanks, and it's way more natural for me to say it out loud, right? So I would say the hardest part for me was saying, oh my gosh, I got to write all this out, right? That was really hard. Instead, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this and I'm going to dissect the different ideas and then make this into a massive long podcast format with different chapters. And then I can take that and then transcribe that into the book. That makes a lot more sense to me. So I think the hang up for me simply was anytime there's a massive project, right? Like I love projects and developing things, but it's the finish line that's the hard part for me. So it's like, oh, I can write all this out. Now I have to do it. For me, it was the due diligence of getting on and just recording it and then getting it out was the hardest part for me.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think that's one of the first things that me, you, and Sherman really connected on, because I shared with you my story about how at first I tried to keyboard warrior it, and what ended up happening was I was getting so much anxiety, like I was like throwing up in the bathroom. Like that's how much stress that was causing me. And then not to mention, I would go create problems to go solve, so I had an excuse not to go work on the book. And it wasn't until my mentor, someone shared with me, like, why don't you just audio record yourself? And that was the light bulb for me. Now, at the time, I didn't have a podcast, so I just created what I was going to ramble on and did my best to stay on track for those recordings. So I want to really honor you and what you did with that, because Renee, I don't know if we've had anyone actually do like podcast episodes as their way to write the content for their book, which I thought was really smart, because now you're killing two birds with one stone. Renee, anything you want to add on that?
No, we haven't had anybody do that yet. We had Kathy Males, who used her blog posts for the large volume of the content of her book that we ended up pulling together. The only other person who's using podcast episodes is actually us in the Best Helper book that we're working on now. So that is a path entirely paved by you guys, Blake.
Innovator. And I think about it like some of my favorite like musicians, right? Like they'll do parts of a song and just record it, and then later on just continue to work on it. So in my mind, it works better just talking things out. And I'm kind of like a deep thinker of like, hey, I got to get this formulated in certain ways, and then real life stories, so it felt more natural to me.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So let me ask you this. Like, we kind of talked about like the heart of the book, right? Which is like long-term thinking, sustainable strategies for, micro gym owners. But I want to get a little bit more in the weeds for this, right? Because once again, there's a wide gambit of a micro gym owner, right? There's the guy who has a CrossFit gym out of his garage and it's a gym. And then we have actual like micro gyms that actually have like official training facilities and things like that. So if you had to say like who this book is like specifically for, like what that person looks like, what stage of life they're in, their ambitions, their aspirations, who would you say that person is?
Yeah. So the truth is, paid marketing is not for everyone yet, right? And I say that in a way, like you said earlier, our best clients, and when you need paid marketing, is when you reach this point of like, I get 4 to 5 clients in and I'm losing 4 to 5, right? And you can't break that barrier because there just basically comes a point. For example, when I had my 2 locations, I had one gym that had 2 other gyms. I'm not joking, within 800 meters. Like when we do runs, there would be other CrossFit gyms. We were all CrossFit gyms, to be clear. And so how do you get a different messaging to different gyms than different gyms that are literally, it's not like miles. It's like I could run and we're going to cross paths, right? And so, but the gym that like has a leaky bucket syndrome, AKA you're losing too many members, you need to figure that out. Now you could argue, well, if they don't do paid marketing, they're going to go downhill. Totally understand that. But you're going to lose clients if you're doing paid marketing, right? So there's always that threshold. We say that it's usually between like 95 and 120 clients that you need paid marketing. Because that's, if you have a 3%, what we find doing all of our math over all the clients that have signed up, the net they do organically with no paid marketing is 4. So if you have 3 to 5% churn, which is labeled the gold standard, you're losing 3 to 5% anywhere from, 85, 90 to like 115 if you're doing really well. So just based on those numbers, now there are some people, like there's unicorns, don't get me wrong, that are going to have, they sign up 20 organically or whatever. But once it doesn't matter if it's 20 organically, once you get to 200 clients or 250, there's always going to come a threshold where your organic meets your churn and you have no other choice. Your churn is representative of how if you're downtown Chicago, you probably have an 8% or a 10% churn, right? There's nothing you can do about it because people are moving outside the city. It's a transient, young demographic. But if you're in a suburban area where people kind of stay, like I'm in Westfield, Indiana, like Carmel, like people are going to stay here. They're not going to move a lot. So if it's 3 to 5%, you know that like if I get to X amount and it's 3 to 5%, I need to stop worrying about getting a 1%. How do I get more clients in the door, right? And the only thing to do that, because that 3 to 5% is telling me you're running a good business because people are not leaving, right? And so that's a good representative. How do I get more people in the door? You can do gimmicky stuff, right? Like you can go to like farmers markets, but let's be honest, the people at farmers markets are going to a farmers market. They aren't going to do your, how long can I hold a kettlebell, right? Like that's not why I went to the car. I went because I wanted sweet corn because it's in season in Indiana. I didn't think I wanted to meet somebody about fitness, right? So, and the other thing you got to remember, you're exchanging time for money all the time when you're doing all these events. Most people aren't, but like, how can I sit at home, wake up every day with 2-3 leads in my inbox of people that are interested in coming to my gym? Well, the only way is paid marketing. That's the only growth strategy to go faster, right? And then, like I said, why do you think Orange Theory and those people grow so fast? Is because they are doing paid marketing. And then how do you compete on a scale or look super professional compared to big franchises, but you're a small boutique? And my goal is to write out, you don't need to compete on that level. Your words need to be clear on what problem you solve and how you solve that problem and what they are experiencing. So when I read that, hey, you're a 40-year-old dad that doesn't have hours to work out anymore in a CrossFit gym. Hey, come into this. You can work out 3 times a week for 45 minutes and be in the best shape like you were in your 20s. That sounds like me. I want to go there, right? So how do you articulate that? And I'm not saying I was the best business owner. I was a business mentor, all that. But my website, people would come in the door and be like, your website spoke to me and it sounded like it was written for me. That's when you know you're on par, right? And so what I tried to do is reverse engineer, hey, who's your avatar? Like, scan this QR code, fill all this out. This is who you're speaking to. How do you write the copy? What is the imagery? All of that, and combine it into one. So when people read that, they go, that's me. I'm gonna opt in here. And to be clear, 100% of people are never gonna sign up at your gym, right? We get busy, we get lazy. They eat a bag of Doritos tonight, they feel horrible about themselves. They go on a walk in the dog in the morning, they feel better about themselves, right? It also goes over clearly what the expectations are of like lead to close, percentages of all of that, so you know if you're hitting those marks. What I say all the time with clients is I don't care about your feelings, I care about the data, right? Like, you feel like it's a bad month till we dive into it. No, you're just horrible at sales. Read the sales portion of this, right? You need to work on that. Whatever it is, you can diagnose your funnel rather than saying, I got 100 leads and I closed 2. Okay, that's not good. But you had 15 people you sat down with and you only closed 2. You missed 13 signups. That should have been 80%. Actually, your marketing funnel is working really well. You just need to get better at sales, right? Or whatever it is. And the whole diagnosis of the book is to like start point to end point, everything in between, what a marketing funnel looks like, and to say, I can check this box. Now I know where the problem is. Let me fix that. And like I always say, you don't want to have kinks in your chain. Wherever the kink is, get it out so you have a well-oiled machine. So now you can say, now I can pour gas, AKA money in, and I know I have a proven system. Yes, there's going to be ebbs and flows, right? It's summertime. If you're marketing to 40-year-old moms and dads, they're busy. You guys get it. I don't have time to work out. I'm worried about what camp my son's going to do and just managing when he's home. You have to understand and not freak out at the same time.
Dude, I love that, man. So it like, and once again, like what I got the feeling from that is almost like the anti-marketers book. Because as you know, most marketers will convince you into like why you should run ads regardless of what stage you're at in your business, because they're going to promise you the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, versus what you're saying is like, hey, if you're not at this level of clientele, you probably shouldn't do it. If you're not below this churn level, you probably shouldn't do it, right? Because once again, you're just pouring more water into a bucket with a massive hole in it. And then once again, like, hey, if you are getting people but you're not closing, well, great. You need to go work on this side. So I totally see what you mean about this is about alignment between the different silos to be successful as a micro gym owner, not just here's a bunch of marketing tactics and things that you can do to just pour more people in. Because at the end of the day, like if you're not running an actual solid business that's keeping people at the end of the day, then there's really no point of doing it at all. So Blake, that kind of leads me to my next question. What's the one thing, if like people that get this book, obviously micro gym owners, if they only pull one thing from this book, and obviously there's a lot of things they can pull, and I hope they pull all the things, but if you had to pick one, what would you hope that would be?
I can only go with one, huh? Only one.
Only one, dude. Only one.
Actually,
I know what mine would be.
Okay, go. You go first, and I'll see if I was going to say the same thing.
The alignment. The need for the alignment between the two, I thought was brilliant, because you have so many places that overemphasize one or the other, and like they're not getting that like this is like a complete, from the experience of the client or the prospect, it's one journey.
Yeah. And I think the first step is knowing who your actual audience is. And because, just like I'll say for LASSO, for example, we're not for everybody. We're not for the gym that has a lot of problems, right? Or that's probably doing $10,000. It doesn't make sense to give us 20% of your revenue, right? Or spend it on marketing yet. Fix these other things. But until you know who you're actually going after, you never know who to speak to. You can earmark that and gold standard that one right there. So I think I would say that. And the only other thing is, and this is from StoryBrand, so I'm coining it from Donald Miller, don't be cute, be clear. Stop talking over your clients. Stop thinking you're trying to sound smart. You just lose people, right? Like if I have to go to your website and say, I'm not going to name the gym name. It said medical grade fitness. And I said, what in the HELL is that? It sounds like I'm going for peptides and going to do CrossFit at the same time. I have no idea what you're talking about. And that means, but also he had only 5 leads over the whole summer. Well, no kidding. Nobody has any idea what your website's saying, and it's right there, right? Who are you speaking to? And if you can always say, if you have to say, what does that mean? Whatever you say next is probably what you should have said.
Good.
Medical grade.
good.
That's a first for me. I haven't ran into one of those yet.
Well, you probably shouldn't because you have no idea what it means.
I resonate with a lot with that in terms of being an editor and getting manuscripts and stuff where like you can tell it's just been chat GPT'd like crazy, and chat GPT loves to make things sound cute versus clear. And I'm like, this is just fluff and filler. This means nothing.
This is a side note. If you are doing chat GPT or Claude, have it read StoryBrand. Tell it to talk in 3rd grade reading level so people understand what it says. Because everything that, like, I'm going to create a new prompt. Anytime it's ChatGPT or Claude, I don't answer to AI. Write me back as a real person, and then I'll respond. Because, yes, it's like, you can tell you wrote none of this. None of this I've never heard you say. It's asking me 50 different questions that make no sense, that are relative to nothing, just to gather information. Nobody is going to read your website or your ads. And to be clear, this just came out last week for people that listen to this. So Facebook is now marking ads that are AI generated imagery with an AI mark, which means that people, when they see that, are going to lose trust. So when you're generating real photos, real videos, so let's use an example of a steak, right? Or a burger, most amazing burger, and I see it's AI generated, I don't care. I know that's not the real thing, right? So just like a fitness video or photo, all these gyms that are trying to go the AI route, they're going to start losing on trust. So you have to talk about just real people, show real people, even if it is not as a great quality. Now, you still have to produce great quality imagery, because I would say even now it's a better time to produce high quality, because then people are going to be like, holy moly, that's real, because I know it's not AI marked, and now I want to go there. So it's just like I was worried that people were going to put AI stuff out and nobody was ever going to be able to realize it, right? But now Facebook's realizing it, and Facebook's smarter than everybody, that like it's going to market. So now it's more important than ever to be authentic and real.
Right. You know, it's funny. They're actually doing the same thing in the publishing industry of books, because the same issue. People are pumping out books that are all AI content and calling themselves thought leaders and deceiving people. So it's fun. I didn't know that about Facebook and ads, though, but that actually gives me some hope for humanity in the future.
Yeah. No, me too. I mean, it literally just came out last week that it's going to start doing that. So yeah, I think I think you got to figure out a way, right? Like Facebook can't do away with marketing because that's their biggest thing. That's how they make money, for example, right? They want to make it easier, but also it doesn't, like, at the end of the day, it's all about how fast can I go, right? Like, how fast can I get stuff up? But how can I get in at the end? But it's also about results. So there's always going to be stuff, like, always in the midst. But yeah, I agree. It's a good thing they're doing that, because it goes back to the human part of like, I want to know that's real. And I looked at Airbnbs the other day and I'm like, this is deceiving because I can tell this is AI. I'm not booking that place, right?
Yeah, we're actually scheduling Airbnb visit ourselves. So Renee, I hope you got the same eye as Blake does on this thing.
It would have to have looked a lot fancier than that for it to be AI. If they used AI on that, then
it's not a good
sorry,
AI.
but you got to up your standards.
Right,
yeah.
right. No, I think that's great fodder for people tuning in this episode, man. I appreciate you sharing that. And once again, I learn something new every time we have someone on here, dude. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Of course.
Let me ask you this, dude. Obviously, we know the heart of the book, who it's for. Obviously, a lot of the gold nuggets that they're going to take that's going to add a lot of value, not just personally, but professionally. Let me ask you, what's the big picture vision that you have for the impact for this book? What would you like to see happen?
Big picture, I would say people see marketing in a different light. That people see marketing as a tool and it's not this like evil villain, right? Because I think in the CrossFit world and a lot of boutique world, the franchises, because franchises are owned by either big corporations or CEOs that are very like just started this franchise and they understand the paid marketing world, that people, boutique owners are able to start competing with big franchises and understand that if I speak in a way that people understand that I can solve their problem, and I know that I'm simplifying it, but if you base this down to my yard, if I need my yard taken care of, I want to see ads that are like, hey, we're going to treat your yard like it was our own, or you're going to have the best looking yard in the whole subdivision, right? Like, it's not about like, hey, we treat your yard with some weed thing that's this revolutionary thing that I have no idea about, right? Or all these chemicals they put on it. That doesn't relative to me or relate to me. You need to speak on how it relates to the consumer. Or, hey, you've worked with big franchise companies for yard care. We're a local establishment that cares about your yard just as much as you do. We're going to actually have a relationship with you and a conversation rather than leaving a note on your door. I'd be like, that sounds great. Sign me up. How do I beat this person? And that's ended up who I hired for my yard group because they were different, right? How do you differentiate yourself versus the big time players?
No, I can definitely second that. Man, if I had $1 for every marketer I hired that did under-delivered on what they said they would do, I wouldn't need a publishing business anymore. So it's great to have like one of the good guys out there who's doing the opposite of going, hey, let me actually give you what you need. And then, yeah, if you want to go this route, yeah, obviously there's a certain point in time in any business where I think, like you said earlier, you can't escape it. Like you have to, or you end up becoming the best kept secret and you'll never grow to your potential at the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah. And as a gym owner, you have to just decide, like, is my time worth learning this, right? Is it worth investing all this time? Because you're going to spend a lot of time marketing, but you still need to understand the framework, even if you hire somebody, of what to expect and what makes a good marketing company versus a bad one, right? Like just putting offers and free and like all this stuff is not good, right? But like talking to your consumer, even if, like I say it all the time, I don't care about leads, I care about signups. Leads don't make you money, signups do. And how do you get more people in your door?
Absolutely. Well, as we land the plane on this, I've got one more question for you. And then once again, I want to make sure we plug when the book can come out and the website and all the things so people can get it for $1 on launch day. What has writing this book and going through this process unlocked for you personally or professionally?
Well, my 6-year-old thought I was the coolest thing ever, so that might just provoke me. He's like, my dad wrote, like, it'd probably get me teary-eyed to like show it, like if I ever showed the video of him holding it for the first time, because he like, I would say the really cool thing, and this is just a side note, he has now started writing books on his own. And I've been taking it and like putting it in AI and we print it out for him. So one thing that like made me do is realize, hey, this process isn't as hard as I thought. We're actually, me and my wife are going to write books for my kids every year based on their age and what they're going through. So, and then we're just going to like publish one of them, right? What it's unlocked for me is just be able to, like, you have in your head all the time of just like, all the things that you hear from these mentor companies and stuff that are not true, right? And it's just based on fear from them that they're going to lose a client to marketing, which honestly is just horrible. Like, find a mentor that like just wants the best for you and isn't scared of things. But it's just the truth of how marketing actually works, so people can understand. And like I said in the beginning of this, like, I think Alex Hormozi is one of the smartest people ever when it comes to marketing. And to listen to people that actually understand marketing, and I'm not saying I'm an Alex Hormozi or smart as Alex Hormozi, but you spending $100 in a month does not tell you if marketing worked or not. us spending $2 to $3 million or whatever it is now, I know the algorithm always changes, right? The algorithm's always going to change for Facebook. The thing that doesn't go away is solving people's problems and talking to the problem that they have today. That will never change amongst how all this audiences and all this stuff. But if you speak to the problem and the client or the potential client understands that gym sounds like they know exactly like what my issue is and they can solve it, they're going to come to you. Now, the ways that you do that might be different and like the creativeness and all that stuff, but getting that framework down of how do I speak and test different things, I believe is always going to be true.
Well, first of all, thank you for that gold nugget. And then, Renee, do you want to touch on the writing for your kids? Because I think that's beautiful, Blake. And, you know, there's a lot of reasons to write a book, and there's professional reasons, there's personal reasons. And, yeah, I'll let Renee share one of the books we wrote for our kid that, once again, we have no intention of selling this book. We literally just did it because we wanted to do something cool for our daughter.
Yeah, we just did it. We just put it in KDP simply to get a proof copy of it so we could get a hard copy in hand. But yeah, we do the same thing for Aria, for our daughter. And it started with, we made a custom children's book for her about her favorite stuffed animal, which is a monkey puppet. And funny enough, it's the one book she doesn't ever want to read right now because it gives her nightmares.
Oh, no.
So that was fun. There's a scene where a crow wants to take the monkey's banana and then grabs the monkey with the banana, takes the banana, and then just drops the monkey, and he falls through the air and lands on our old geriatric cat's back. But it's that falling through the air, the only night terror she's ever had, where I had to go wake her up because she was screaming and thrashing, was she was dreaming that she was falling through the air. She won't even let me go near the book.
Wow.
She's like, no. But then at the same time, she has this book that she found in one of those free little libraries called Fantastic and Fearsome Beasts, and has all these like really creepy, like I'm talking about disembodied vampire heads and stuff. She asks me to read that for her for bedtime all the time. So
moral of the story, just be careful what you put in the book.
Yeah. Dude.
And just set your expectations to not be too high.
Yeah, I thought we wrote a great book. Once again, we're not.
It's really good.
I'm not Dr. Seuss or anything, apparently, but I wasn't expecting her to get night terrors off of one scene from the book. So we'll keep writing them and keep trying. But I actually think it's hilarious, traumatizing our daughter through children's books.
There you go.
All that effort. Man. So do we want to land the plane and talk about? I can talk about release date and everything. And so I did verify
website for people that want to be able to get a copy of the book for the special launch day pricing, all the things.
Yeah. So the release date is actually Tuesday, September 8th. That is when the Kindle will drop. I did verify the Kindle will be 99 cents for that one day only. The day after that, it goes right back up to standard Kindle pricing. On September 9th, which is Wednesday, the print formats will drop. That hardcover is going to look real good on this book. The paperback looks good enough. And then what is the website? I think you guys use your LASSO or I think you guys use that domain for it.
Yep. So it's fullgym.lassoframework.com.
There we go.
You got me?
Oh, perfect. Cool. Okay. Well,
and
there we go.
We'll put that down in the show notes too, so it's clickable for those tuning in this episode for sure.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys very much for everything you've done, and the book looks amazing, and we couldn't have done it without you. Literally, we couldn't have done it without you.
Man, that was a perfect time to have internet lag. We heard it was perfect. Couldn't have done it without you. So thank you, Blake, and you're welcome. And it's been an honor working with you, sir.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for everything. And I look forward to it. And the hard copy already looks amazing. So I can't wait for people to see it.
Awesome. And then also for those micro gym owners out there, Blake is going to have a special bonus offer that obviously if you sign up on the website, Blake will get in touch with you on the special details on that, which I'm sure he's got a ton of other resources that he's going to be putting in there with his marketer brain, as you know, as the theme of this episode. So make sure y'all come in, support the launch on this, and you'll get some extra goodies as well. Cool. All right. You want to sign us off, Renee?
Yeah, you bet. As always, you guys know where to find us. We are on Facebook. Just search Lautermilch. You'll pull up the both of us, Lautermilch. You can also find us at smartpublishingservices.com. Special thanks to Blake for being on this episode. And like he said, you can find him at the link that will be in the show notes. And him and Sherman's book coming out September 8th. Like we always say, until next time, keep writing your story because the world needs your voice.